don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. I just heard you found what you done. You've been looking for. I wish I would have known that was me. 'Cause even after all this time, I still wonder why I can't move on just the way you did so easily. So you wanna know the dress you wear tonight? He's holding on to you so tight. Way on to the forward. I hope you know, should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's success. We don't talk anymore.
Hello, my name is Paul Stockdale from ABC PE, the site where we try and make VCE physical education as easy as ABC. And today we get to write a training program. Remembering that we've already had 4 videos explaining how we get to this point, and today we put it all together and apply the knowledge. So you may remember that Wooly took us through the activity analysis, watching a game, getting some data via skill frequency charts, GPS, heart rate data, and this is what we put together for our player, Scott Pendlebury. Once we determined the relevant fitness components, energy systems, movement patterns, work to rest ratios, we should then go and do some fitness testing to determine which fitness components we're going to focus on. I've already told you that our aim is going to be looking at flexibility, aerobic power, we want to maintain those, and we want to improve muscular power and anaerobic capacity. The next step is choosing the training methods to target the fitness components that you've identified as wanting to improve or maintain. So I've chosen intermediate interval training to improve anaerobic capacity. I'm also going to use short interval just to show you how that works. Resistance weight training to improve muscular power along with plyometrics, and then flexibility to maintain flexibility. Continuous and fartlek to maintain aerobic power. I then need to apply all of the training principles to my training program. Wooly gave you a fantastic mnemonic to remember these. I'm going to focus particularly on 5 of them: frequency, intensity, time, type, and progression. And there is my program, including all of the training methods that I have chosen to use for each of the fitness components. And we'll come back to that shortly. Each training session needs to include 4 things generally. We're not interested in the third thing there, the skill development phase for this training program, but we certainly need to warm up. The conditioning phase is where we aim to improve the fitness component that we're targeting, and we definitely need to cool down. All warm-ups should include low intensity exercise and dynamic stretching rather than static stretching, and there's some advantages. There's an example of a warm-up that I'm going to use for each of my sessions. In terms of a cool down, again, just a low intensity aerobic activity and some static stretches this time. And here is my first session. Monday AM is a plyometrics session. I've included the activities, how many times we need to do them at what intensity we need to do them. There's a picture of all the activities off to the right hand side. In week 4 to 6, I need to overload those sessions, and I've chosen to overload by just 1 rep, which will keep us within the VCAR confines of 1 variable by no more than 2 to 10%. The other muscular power sessions that I'm doing on Wednesday and Friday involve resistance training, and again there's a list of the activities and the intensity, noting that 55% RM max is within the muscular power range. On the right hand side is how I justify all of that program. Frequency 3, intensity very high intensity, I've used RPE, or I can use repetition maximum. All of my sessions need to go 20 minutes, and I'm going to count up just to make sure that they go for 20 minutes. Type is the most important thing for you to cover here. We must make sure that what we're doing is specific to Scott's needs for the game. In this case, we're training muscular power with the correct methods, but we're also staying within the rep range. We're using a variety of muscles that Scott uses in football. And the progression, as I said, needs to stay between 2 and 10%. Aerobic power, There is an example of sessions for continuous training and fartlek training. We're doing those Monday and Friday AM, and again, I need to apply the FIT principles to make sure that Scott's going to get maximum benefit out of this session. Only 2 per week because we're looking to maintain. Here's my flexibility sessions. I've got a whole heap of activities there to the right hand side. I've given you an idea of how long he needs to hold for, what sort of intensity, and how many times per week. Again, applying the FIT principles. My anaerobic sessions, I've included short interval just to show you the difference. You can see that this short interval session has a work to rest ratio of 1 to 10. So there's very high intensity work with lots of rest so that he can replenish those PC stores. Intermediate interval session, longer time, 15 seconds as opposed to 4. Less rest. I'm operating at a work to rest ratio of 1 to 3, so less rest. How do I overload this? Well, short interval is going to be reps. I'm going to add 1 more rep. And just so I can show you that that's not the only thing that we can do to overload, I've included the work to rest ratio. That is, I've decreased rest. So it's between 1 to 2 and 1 to 3, his work rest ratio in weeks 4 to 6. So this is a very heavily examined area. I've got 3 questions here from last year's exam alone that I'd like to draw your attention to. And this is the first one, a very large question where you're asked to create your own program. And as soon as you see something like this, you need to think of your training principles, FITT in particular. Given this is for 7 weeks, I also need to show progression in here and probably variety as well. And firstly, we don't need to worry about fitness testing, so I'm just going to change those fitness tests to the fitness components. And the first one I see there is power. We've got a person who is below average in power, still below average in aerobic power, runs a total distance of 5.9 kilometers, again requiring aerobic power. So I'm pretty certain I'm going to put together a program on aerobic power. Of course, I need to determine what training methods are relevant. And here are the answers to that. Vika gave aerobic power as the best example, and then just simply used frequency, intensity, time and type to answer the rest of the question. So here is another one. And this time, we're asked to work out progression to see if it's been applied correctly. And the second part says, using the FIT principles, evaluate the effectiveness of this program. So they're giving you the structure already, and then you just need to literally just go through FITT and tell us whether that is meeting the training principles. Here's the answer for that one. And the answer for that one. The final one I want to draw your attention to is slightly different because you're asked to critique in terms of this program's effectiveness. But again, the very first thing I do is I look to apply FITT. There's the answer. Well, thank you very much for watching. My name's been Paul Stockdale. Remember to visit our website and check for forthcoming revision webinars. Dates released very shortly. Thank you very much.